is Nikhil Abraham, and I'm currently studying the 11th grade. It is common to be asked what you intend to study in college when you enter high school. I've been facing the same question, and although I have a broad understanding of what I want to do, it gets a bit difficult to narrow down on the specifics. So, I thought it would be helpful to create this platform Unmajored, where I interview different people of various academic and professional backgrounds, so that the information shared benefits not just me, but all those who are in the same boat. Today on Unmatured, the spotlight is on Shikha Chander. Shikha completed her BTech in Biotechnology from JP Institute of Information Technology. She went on to work in companies like Quintiles, Covensys, and is currently a senior manager in database development and statistical services at George Clinical. Okay, so my first question would be, what made you pursue biotechnology at the undergraduate level?
So Nikhil, my dad was a doctor. He is no more
Okay.
now, but then yeah, he was a doctor, and I really looked up to him. And I
Mm.
also wanted to do. I actually wanted to do the same as he was. So I gave entrance exams also, but then I was not able to
Mm.
clear because
Okay. Yeah.
the medical entrance exams are not very easy to clear. So I was not
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
of those lucky ones to clear those.
Mm.
So biotech was one of the lines which was on the same line as something similar to clinical.
Okay.
So my dad, gave that guidance to me and said that this could be another option if you are not going ahead with the medical thing.
Yeah.
So that was the reason that I chose biotech. And during that point in 2003, I think in my college it was the second year of that of the biotech course.
Oh, okay.
So
So
it
it
was
was
just
new at that
starting.
time.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
just new. It was just starting. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's why I started with this course. I pursued the course.
All right. That's great.
Yeah.
Um, Now, could you tell me a little bit about, the biotechnology undergrad course and the syllabus it contains?
So so biotech is actually about the living organisms. If I
Okay.
just to say in layman terms, the living organisms and something related to something within the organisms you could use for some technological advances. The
Okay.
best example in these days is the vaccine, because
Oh,
vaccines
okay.
are made
Mm.
of the living organisms, and then you inject something within the bodies, and then you get the immunity out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is about that. And the courses that I just remember in the starting were about just the physics, chemistry, maths in
Okay, so
semester
basic
one.
subjects.
Yeah, then maths. Then as we moved on to our second year, it was more on biotechnology, biochemistry, something
Mm.
on the medical images, the medical
Okay.
equipments that we use, and living the cultures. If you, I don't know if you've heard about the pathological labs. What they do,
Yeah, yeah.
they take the
The,
samples and
yeah,
then they check how is the blood test or the urine sample.
yeah.
So on that we were doing some testing as well in our labs.
Okay.
And then the normal personality development courses were there in all the semesters.
Okay.
Yeah, this was most, and there was one course on C also, the programming.
Okay.
Yeah, but just one related to programming at
So
that
it
point.
like gradually became more detailed, I think, to the biochemistry
Yes,
and the medicine. Okay.
related to bio, it was more. And then during the last not last, I think if I remember it right, somewhere in sixth or seventh semester, we had something related to clinical research also.
Okay.
I think nowadays related to clinical, and there are also languages like SAS and
Yeah,
R
yeah.
and Python also being taught
Mm.
these days in biotech. But at that point, it was just C, which we did
Okay.
in our second semester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So after you did that, how easy was it to, branch out into database programming? And why did you make this change?
So, Nikhil, to be very frank, when you are doing your undergraduation,
Hmm.
companies come for placement, and
Yeah.
I don't know now if students still want to apply for all the companies that come in,
Hmm.
but we were applying for anything that was coming for
Yeah.
us. So we were applying for whatever companies were coming, whether it was related to IT, whether it was related to clinical, whatever it was.
Okay, so
So I was
whatever.
not able to clear the Infosys, the TCS that came in.
Huh.
Quintiles was the first company that came for specifically related to biotech course.
Okay.
So I appeared for that, and I was able to clear the database programming. There were two departments that they were offering at that point. One was on the database programming, and another was on the data management, which was clinical data management.
All right.
So a lot of our colleagues, I mean, the friends in our batch, they applied for data management, but I tried for database programming, and I was able
Okay.
to clear that. Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Um. So you started working as soon as you did your undergrad, right? Was
yeah.
database programming related to bio, or was it completely independent of bio? Would you say?
So I was into clinical database programming. The programming part of it was not related to what we have done. C sharp was the language that we used, and C was the course that we had done in our course, and those also
Okay.
were different because we were just using very basic programming uh,
Yeah.
at that point. And but the terms, were kind of related to what we have studied in one of the courses during biotech, which I just mentioned, clinical research course. So
Mm-hmm.
we did hear about the vital signs, the adverse events that we
Okay.
are now also using. So that's how it was related, but not too much of it was related, I would say.
But the data that you used was related to bio and the clinical research, was it?
So there are terms which what we do is what we used to do was we have to develop the database to capture the
Hmm.
data that is being
Yeah,
done
yeah.
for the trials, for the clinical information for the patients. So
Hmm.
those terms were quite related to bio and the some of the subjects that we did during biotechnology.
Okay,
But
okay, yeah.
database programming as such, programming was not
Just
related.
yeah, computer.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you have to do any other courses, for your current job profile that you have now?
So I actually do not have to do any course, but these days I'm seeing a lot of people doing SaaS courses
Okay.
from a lot of institutes, and
Yeah.
these are very costly courses which are here. But at that point, not too many people knew about SaaS 15
So
years back.
I have a quick question. What
Yeah.
exactly is SAS? Is it
So SAS is a statistical analysis system which we are
okay?
using. Yeah, in the stats programming, we are using
Hmm.
this software, this tool
Alright.
for our programming. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So it's like a
So
tool
yes,
that
so
you
I
use.
yes, right.
Okay.
So we do programming in this SAS. We have programming to be done in this to get what we need.
Hmm.
But yes, that point I didn't do any course, and I had a mentor assigned to me who was guiding me to
Okay.
learn SAS on the job. So it was
Oh,
on the job that I had learned SAS.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. Um. What would you say is the scope of biotech in India now, and what kind of career options are there after biotech?
So after biotech, as I mentioned in the beginning, the vaccines that
Hmm.
we are seeing these days, from a
Yeah.
lot of pharma companies, the vaccines being developed.
Yes.
So people who have done biotechnology or who have experience from, who have done their colleges and taken degrees related to pharma and medicine, they will be part
Yeah.
of developing these medicines. They work in the labs and
Okay.
work
Yes.
to get these vaccines. So that is one of the things. people who are interested in a lot of research, they
Mm.
should pursue biotech for sure.
All right.
In India, yes, there is a scope. At that point, a lot of our friends had gone abroad
All right.
to US and they have settled there, and they are doing extremely well.
Huh. Okay.
From our batch who are in India, they are with pharma companies. Most of them are
Mm.
associated with pharma companies like Dr.
Okay.
Reddy's, Biocon. Yeah, yeah. So there is scope in India as well.
You said that i- people who want to do research should definitely take up biotech. Why exactly do you say that?
Yeah, because I said that when you are working on something like vaccines,
Hmm.
you have to have a lot of patience,
Yeah.
because vaccine cannot just come up in one day.
Yes,
There might be a
definitely.
lot of experiments that you will have to do,
Hmm.
and that is what the research is. So a lot of research goes into developing of these medicines or the vaccines or whatever pharma companies are doing.
Okay.
So that is what basically the biotechnology is, and that's why research is related to this, the
All
biotech
right.
thing.
Yeah, got it. Got it. So you are now doing statistical programming. What is the difference between this and database programming?
So in the database programming, we design the front end to get the data from patients. When the patients come to a clinic,
Hmm.
they are given this trial medication which we want to test on a patient, whether
Okay.
this is going to work or this is not going to work, or how is it going to affect the patient, whether the patient who has this illness or XYZ illness will get treated or not. So we
Yeah.
collect all this information in some database, right? So
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
that's where you will get the database design
Okay.
thing coming in. But
Hmm.
then this data, what is being collected for all the patients from different clinics or different
Yeah.
hospitals, will come and sit in one database, right? In the
Hmm.
back end.
Yeah.
So all that information comes to us in the stats programming, and that is
Okay.
where we analyze this and see what is the trend of.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we given one pill
And
to
so you
all
like
the patients.
infer
Yes,
conclusions
yes,
from
we
the
infer
data.
the results. Yes,
Okay.
right, right.
Yeah.
So that's about stats programming. So
Okay.
basically, biostatisticians do that inference part of it.
Hmm.
We do the programming part of it. We collate
Okay.
the data. We group them in such a way so that it's easier for biostats to analyze the data.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Um, I think the next question is just like how much math do you, is required in database and statistical programming?
So I am not using much of maths, and I am not very
Okay.
good at maths also,
Mhm.
to be frank. So we are not using a lot of maths.
Yeah.
Biostatisticians must be using some maths, but in the programming side of it, not much of maths is being used. It's just the
All
basic
right.
calculations that
Yeah.
we do. Yeah, not
Yeah.
not too much of it. Yeah.
Okay. So I just had like a quick question of my own. Would you think that the scope of biotechnology is better here in India, or do you think it's growing in India, or do you think it, better in countries abroad?
Hmm. So do you have this interest in doing research? As I said, for the medicines that comes up or the vaccines that are upcoming, do you have
Mm.
that kind of interest? If
Oh,
yes, I think yeah.
no, no, carry on, carry on.
No, so I was just saying that if I personally feel what I have been hearing in India, it is there, yes,
Mm.
definitely, but in abroad it is more. I feel
All right.
because a lot of pharma companies I think are from
Outside
US
India.
and Europe and
Yeah,
other places.
yeah.
So I feel it is more outside of India. But if
Okay.
it is not just the research, the way we have been working
Mm.
in the database programming part of it, or the stats programming, or the biostats, or even though the clinical data management,
Mm.
that industry is growing a lot in India. It is huge.
Okay. Okay.
So that way, biotech is not just the research, but then you can still do a lot of other things after doing biotechnology in
Okay.
India.
Yeah. Okay. So again,
No,
thank you so
no, Nikhil,
much.
no, that's thanks, Nikhil.